Today we will try to understand about AI agents. Let me use laser here. So, what is AI agent? When I say AI agent, that means agent is actually working on the behalf of a role. Like we have DevOps engineer role, we have SRE role. So these are the roles for which we hire human and then they work for us. We have LLM, that is large language model. For LLM we have Chat GPT, that is from OpenAI. We know that Chat GPT is a kind of brain, like human have the brain. Similar way Chat GPT, like if we ask anything it will process and it will give the generalized answer if we are using public LLM, and if we have the private LLM then it will fine tune according to our data boundary. If I say, hey, what is the problem, right? So what this AI agent will do, it will go and query the log, right? And based on that it would be specific to the problem which we are asking. That is not a generalized answer. So this is like it will tell us that CPU usage of the particular container is high, so it needs more CPU. Those sort of things it will analyze based on the log, and then it will take action. When it starts taking action on the behalf of a human, then that we called an agent. But if it is not taking any action, then it just like we are using AI. Now we will understand further. Further, it's, let's say this is in a user. So what generally user do task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4, task 5, task 6, task 7. Likewise it do task. Similar way we design agents to do task for us. So we create a flow, series of flow there, and then this takes an action. Okay, now that we call agentic automation, because now agent is working on behalf of a human, and it is automating and it is analyzing, it is also taking action on the behalf of the tool output it received. So it is following a flow, and based on that flow it is taking action, it is actually executing the task. Then we have task breakdown. So let's say I am an DevOps engineer. So what I do, I design CI/CD pipeline, and if there is a failure in any step of a pipeline, then I see the logs and I try to troubleshoot. But same thing an agent is doing. So what we will do, we'll break down the task, and we will also provide a memory. So we have like two types of memory: short term memory and long term memory. Short term, it's like immediate action it will do without using the context from previous things. Okay, now we will try to understand its flow. So how the flow actually flows, let's say this is a server which we have, right? This server we have. So this server is used by a user. Now that user is sitting to do certain tasks, so it have a goal, like I will take care the reliability of an application, or I will take care the implementation of Kubernetes cluster. Likewise, we have an expectation out of our role. Based on that goal, we will do some sort of planning. Like first we will design, then we will develop, then we will test, and then we will review and fix, right? So it will do some sort of planning, like it will flow in this way. Now based on the plan, it will break down the task. Okay, and after breaking down the task, it also have the memory. Like how we take actions based on our experiences, right? Let's say I have already deployed one control tower in AWS. So I have the experience of deploying control tower. So I know how the services would be used, where I'll be able to find the trails, logs, all those things. I know because I did this implementation previously. Same way we design the memory for our agents also, so that they have the context, and that context can come from various sources. There is not a single source. That could be from Confluence, that could be from official documents. So there are many like this, and based on that it will select the tool. Selection of the tool will happen. Let's say there is a problem in EC2 instance, so it will select a particular tool which will execute the command, and then there will be an execution with the help of that tool. We also have the observability in place, because once we have designed the system, now we have to see what is happening in the logs, in the traces, in the matrix, and based on that it will do a reasoning. So it should do the analysis or prediction based on the observation it is receiving. Now it there would be a decision. If the CPU is spiking, there would be a decision like we need more CPU, we need more memory. If it is out of memory, and based on that it will take action, it will scale or it will restart or image, and it also do the validation, and then it will do the final action, or you can say it will give the final response. Now this we have understood. Now we will try to understand it. There is a LLM, we have understood it's a kind of brain. Like we as human use our brain if there is any task, if there is any issue arise in the production. So similar way, we have Chat GPT, we have Claude, we have Gemini, we have Llama, which take decisions. Then comes the tool part. So tools are our hands or legs. So tools, there would be an API interaction. It needs to interact with an API, or maybe it need to send a notification to Slack channel, or maybe it needs data from DB, or it need to create a ticket in Jira, or it need to execute a shell command or run a queries based on the natural language. It will convert it into an SQL queries, right? So likewise it will do. Then there is a memory. Memory is like an experience to us. Okay, so there would be a short term memory that is used for current task, and there would be a long term memory that will be used for vector DB. So what happens in like RAG system, we have retrieval augmented systems, right? So what they do, they actually get the data from vector DB, and based on that context they give us the result. So there is a memory, so that is what it is referring here. Now there would be a planning. So Planning means there would be a thinking, like that this particular task needs to be break down into a small task, right? And executor action who would be there. So let's say it needs to run an SQL query, so it will run the SQL query, or it will restart, or it will reimage, or it will scale. So these are few examples of taking action. So this we have understood now. So based on, like when we ask a general question, so we simply ask and it gives a general answer. But when we have a particular role, when we give the persona, like you are a DevOps engineer and you have to use this particular database, so it use a context, it use the persona, and based on that it will produce the result for us. So there is an API latency, like one API is connecting to another API, but it is taking more time. There is a slowness in between. So it will be analyzing based on logs, right? Let's say Loki we used for traces, Loki we use for logs, okay, and Jaeger we use for traces, Prometheus we use for matrix. And similarly we have CI/CD logs also, right? So the agent will work for us, they will pull out the traces, logs or matrix, and based on that they will take an action, okay, and they will finalize, okay, that I need to increase the CPU, and they will do the action, okay. Here that could be a Kubernetes cluster, or that could be an EC2 instance, or that could be an RDS instance, that could be even a memory that on which we need to take an action. So these are few examples. Now when we say the multinational companies, they have their agents in place, okay. Those agents work for a company, they're working for a company, they are not in a public, okay. So they are working for a company, and they follow a series of flows, and then they give the result out of the series of tools which are available, and they select and then they work for us. So nowadays they are public. Few things, let's say ChatGPT and Claude, DeepSeek, so they are public, but few agents are working for an enterprise. So they own, they have the proprietary, private, like priority rights on the tool which they have designed and which they are on which they are working. Now there is a core concept, that is, um, let's say we have different domains, right? We have manufacturing domain, we have insurance domain, we have healthcare domain, right? We have law firms, we have FMCG basically deals in food, okay. So we have different domains, and we have these set of languages like COBOL, Java, .NET, so GitLab, GitHub. So these are the products which are available. Now, what different agents will do? One agent will do the scanning. The work of that agent would be to parse the code and to build the dependency graph. What is the requirement of the dependencies that it will take care. Now, planner agent. Now planner agent will do what? It will propose, like, you need to restart this server, you need to re-image this server, you need to scale this server. Likewise it will do, or you need to increase the CPU or the memory or the disk. Likewise it will give the suggestion, or maybe to for a particular process you have to restart those suggestions, it will do. Now the executor agent will do what? So there is a series of agents, okay? Executor agent will actually make the changes by keeping human in a loop. And then there would be a review agent. The job of a review agent is it will do some unit test and it will fix if there is an issue. There are few companies like we have um, Workday is a product, ServiceNow is a product, Jira is a product, Salesforce is a product. There are companies which have their product and they are out in the market and the enterprise are using them, right? So for those in these projects products, they are using the agents, okay, and based on the feature it will provide, they are charging the organizations, right? So those are private LLM. There are few I would say use case. One is like we have when a project gets signed off, that we give a statement of work like this is out of a scope, this is in a scope, like this. So there is non-disclosure agreement, there is an master service agreement. So there are a lot of agreements which happen before a project kick-off start. So this is about the use case. Now there is an agent workflow. What is an agent workflow? It's like vendor proposed contract. Okay. Now it will compare against the internal documents. Okay. Because an organization already delivered multiple projects. So they will compare based on previous project. Let's say they are doing a migration project, so they will check their previous successfully delivered migration project just for comparison, like what they have delivered, what were the challenges, so that they can include in the updated opportunity which they are receiving, right? So the contracts, the templates would be there, and there would be deals also. So they will compare and plan the fine-tuned document for the current opportunity which a company got. Now there are few standards, or you can say non-standard, like there are some clause. So we have to propose like this is our design would be there to deliver this particular requirement which you are looking for. That could be migration, that could be they want DevOps in their project, and so they will do the negotiation. In case the planning which they did with the help of agent, that didn't got success, then they will negotiate, they will email, or if that notification will went to the portal, and then the human will review and they will try to accommodate the points which they are not getting the client, or maybe they will include their panel what needs to be done, because this particular customer is not ready to work with us due to some clauses. Now, so this is what generally the consultant do. They come in picture and then they try to negotiate to close the deal. So we have the documents like PDF, the invoices, those sort of things. So those were the result of an agent. Nowadays, the agents are working for generating documents. Previously, everything was like API based. One API will talk to another API and then to next and to next, and then they will revert back to the user. Agent So we have to define the intent, what this agent will do. This agent will do the planning, this agent will do the execution. So likewise we have to define the intent so that this should be very clear. And the human should be in a loop. Why? Because we now the agents are not mature enough, so we cannot fully automate. We need a human in a loop so that it can review and do the changes if something is not aligned. We have the customers like Walmart, we have DHL, this is into shipment, right? Walmart, that is dealing with uh, FMCG. And we have different support agents, like in Amazon we use support agent, so we can ask about our shipping and it will curate the order list, and based on our selection it will give us the status. So that is done by an agent, so that we can understand now like how the agents are working. Convert, so that there would be a conversion based on the natural language. It will convert it into a SQL query and pull out the data based on the customer query. Now we have the agents, like the support agent. It will fetch the details, and we'll also provide the permission to that particular agent so that it can, track the recent activity of a user, and accordingly it will answer. So these are the like this is the understanding how agents are fitting nowadays. So we have shipment, we have to approve time off, or so it will the crafting part is done by an LLM. Okay, so LLM is actually crafting. Okay, and the agents which we have, those for those agents we have the list of tools. So based on the category it will connect to a particular tool, and then it will respond back within tool result. Okay, so that's how we get the visibility out of our data. Like previously what we used to do, we used to make in calls when IVR, then we are in a queue. Even when we are in a queue, sometimes they don't have the answer, so we have to wait, and then that particular human will create a ticket for us or book something if they have the action to do in their scope. So that's how the BPO used to work. So they deal with the customer frustration, and then they just escalate. Okay, this product is not delivered and the customer is frustrated, and this is the damage in the products. Likewise, they used to process the customer queries and request. So that this to run this particular process, that was very expensive. Okay, but when this agents came in the picture, so it is like we just need to maintain the agents, the chain of agents, and our work is done. We are no more dependent on humans, so there is inconsistency, but there is an ownership that the tool should work as the intent we have designed. If there is an issue, then we have to check and fix the issue in the agent. Like nowadays on the social media you will see many AI enhancements, right? Similarly we have phone pay and the other payment application also. So under the hood there are many applications which are using agents. So the agentic AI is already being used. Okay, so there are types of agent now. Now when I say types of agent or the agent, architectural pattern. So we have a router, so and we have a worker. Router work is to route the request to, there is a list of tools, so it will route the request to a particular tool according to the input, and then that worker will work for us. Or maybe there is a supervisor and there is an executor. The supervisor will give the work to a particular executor, and then this executor will give back this response to supervisor, and then supervisor will communicate as a result. Or there is a human in the loop. Or there are some advanced concepts based on pattern, also based on agent also. So when we say types of agent, so we have react agent where there is no memory, so they don't use your history. Okay, they don't have the memory or they don't have the experience. There is a speed response, but based on the data, we are giving a customized data. If they are taking decision, they are giving output. So that is like goal, that we have like long term memory. Or we also have the goal based agent, so their goal is to work for Kubernetes only. So that is their work, so they will be having permissions for the Kubernetes actions to do. Similarly, we have the learning agent, that is reinforcement. So based on the feedback we are providing, it is getting trained. That is called learning agent. Or there are multi agents. So there are like learning agent, there is a react agent, or there is a goal based agent. So orchestrator means basically coordinating. Okay. So what we do, we coordinate between the agents, right? So we use LangChain. The work of LangChain is basically interacting with the internal tools. So it will use the framework, it will connect to an LLM, and then it will use the particular prompt which we have given, and based on that it will give the answer. There are tools, okay, for that. Then we have line graph, that is a workflow. So step by step things are there in the line graph. Langsmith we use for observability. Okay, so we have for observability, we have for workflow, and we have for even uh, like using the memory prompt, those things before giving the general answer. We have Llama Dex, that is basically work for RAG frameworks. Okay, like it use the internal DB, and there are few like Crew AI. So that is like it is using multi-agent. Okay, based on our input, it is using multiple agents to do the task for us. Like reviewer is there, writer is there, researcher is there. Autogen agent talking. User request something, it goes to a portal, then it goes to an API gateway. In the API gateway, we have an orchestrator. So the job of orchestrator is to understand the intent, and based on that intent, it will select a tool. Then that tool will do the planning. Okay, the planning will be done by this tool, and then that tool will route the request to DB, to observability platform, to cloud, to Kubernetes, or to GitHub. So that routing will be taken care. Then Jira is to create a ticket, and then it will give the result to an agent. Prompt we have, that is like intent we have, memory we have, and the tool output we have. So that is like prompt builder. So the large language model have the reasoning. They have LangFuse we use, like this is an observability to check the tokens, to track the cost of the LLM for which we do. And there is a There is a security, there is an hallucination, let's say a particular I would say agent is hallucinating. It is not taking action based on the data, it is just imagining the things and giving the um, output. That is one thing. And the validation check, so it will validate before giving the answer to us. So the action is like basically to execute or do the approval, to do the planning engine, basically plan, and there would be data ingestion, there would be a metadata which is keeping track of everything. So in generic like API, there is an orchestrator, there is a connector, there is a memory, there is an metadata store. Okay, so this is how different things integrate and they work for a goal. But nowadays what is happening, like we are creating the agents, okay, and those agents we are maintaining, because those agents have a particular goal, and to achieve this goal we need to make our agents reliable. So there are like support jobs are now being augmented with AI. So it's actually enhancing, it's not replacing. There are other things which are coming up. So initial things were to understand, understand, and then next thing is to take action based on the understanding. So this is, there are different tools, there are different apps. Previously there used to be an engineers like Jenkins, we have a tool, we have a different products, we have GitHub, we have. So those tools came into market, they helped us in versioning, in collaboration, in integration, in deployment, like in automating the task. Now the agents are doing for us. So that is like AI automation is in place now. So we should have a clarity of what the agent we are designing, what the goal we are expecting out of that agent. So we use MCP server for like context protocol. So that is to manage our API, to manage our different things, to the permissions and all. These are taken care. So we should know our problem statement. What is the problem which we have in our environment? And this problem we want to accelerate with the help of agents so that we get the result in lesser time. Design and the flow that we need to understand. So this is all about, I would say, AI agents. So now we have understood why we use agents to speed up and to reduce the errors and to make more in less time.